Life is courage. The soul is courage. Courage gives man the will to live. If a soul loses courage, it loses the will to live. In the beginning, Farore, the goddess of courage, bestowed all living creatures with a soul. But a soul without encouragement cannot remain in a physical body. The physical world is full of many trials and conflicts. If a soul doesn't have courage, it won't have the will to live. The soul of the hero was a byproduct of the goddess Farore's creation, a spirit born without a physical vessel, until one day, Demise and his demons sprouted from Din's earth. The denizens of pre-Hyrule, known as the Earth Dwellers, joined forces with the goddess Hylia to fight back the demon hordes. But Hylia's own people, the Hylians, lacked the courage to face such overwhelming darkness, for their lifespans were shorter, and their bodies weaker than that of the Earth Dwellers. And so they were forced to flee into the arms of their loving goddess, who sent them skyward and created a barrier of clouds between them and the demon-infested earth below. The Hylians' souls, above all other beings, lacked courage. At this time, the disembodied soul of the hero discarded its eternal ethereal form and was born in a physical, mortal body. But not just any body. The hero needed to be born among those with the weakest souls. Thus the hero was born as a Hylian. The legend of the Skyward Sword shows the hero was victorious against the demon king Demise, thus inspiring all Hylians to descend from the safety of the heavens and join Link on the dangerous world of Hyrule. The Buddha claims, life is suffering. We face death, disease, pain, and many other potentially unavoidable conflicts and hardships. If this is so, why does a soul not willingly remove itself from life? Courage, the original motivation created by Farore, embodied by the hero Link, the one who proved that all living things, even those who think they are weak and can't fight for themselves, are capable of overcoming the trials of life. And so the Hylians left their protected heaven and descended to the world of conflict and trials, hoping their souls were enriched with the same courage as the soul of the hero. This is what deemed Link worthy of the Triforce of Courage. Farore's original gift was left in the Triforce, and so Link's soul is eternally bound to the goddess's life-giving courage. This means, even when his physical body perishes, his boundless bravery keeps his soul active. His endless soul passes through multiple timelines and even separate dimensions, in order to assist all living things when their courage is at their weakest. In other words, Link is only reborn when his courage is needed most. And so, the hero, using the power of his Triforce, encouraged all denizens of Hyrule with the will to face corruption and malice. Wind Waker's opening states, "It became customary to garb boys in green when they came of age, the same age as the hero of legend. Clothed in the green of fields, they aspired to find heroic blades and cast down evil." Link's multiple incarnations would inspire countless generations of Hylians, until eventually his unbound courage would reach the hearts and souls of the Earth Dwellers. The Gorons, Gerudos, Zoras, and Ritos, tired of relying on a distant Hylian legend, raised their own champions, their own heroes to look up to. Those who would pilot the divine beasts and assist the hero against the calamity. Daruk, Urbosa, Rivali, and Mipha became symbols for their people to aspire to. For example, Gorons no longer find encouragement through an unrelatable Hylian hero. Instead, they may look towards their own champion, Daruk, for inspiration. This was the natural way the goddess Farore intended courage to be distributed. Unfortunately, Farore's plan was tarnished once the soul of the hero birthed itself within an ancient, archaic tribe, the mysterious Zonai. Thanks to Link's multiple incarnations, the Hylians and the Earth Dwellers' souls became brave and independent. But the Zonai, archaic magic users and worshippers of the Triforce, prayed in favor of courage above wisdom and power, for their tribe was in desperate need of it. And so the hero was born a Zonai. Like the Chica tribe inherited Zelda's wisdom, the Zonai tribe inherited Link's courage. And, just as the Chica contorted Zelda's wisdom into pride, the Zonai's courage given by Link, originally used to face conflict, was then used to cause conflict. It is possible the Zonai discovered that the power found within the Triforce of Courage was the same power the goddess Farore used to give life to all living things. The courage, the will to live. They made this discovery when Link, the one wielding the soul of the hero, was born among them. And so the Zonai removed the green energy of the Triforce and manipulated its power to bless their own souls with a will capable of conquering death. The key to eternal life. Once ancient devoted worshippers of the goddess Farore, said to be talented with their magic, used their talents to abuse the soul of the hero and gain immortality for themselves. But a soul cannot remain in the flesh forever, for life is suffering, and a soul forced to live in eternal suffering would surely be in a state no different than hell. And so they were driven mad. The courage keeping their souls motivated eventually, over many years, deteriorated into a basic, animal-like survival instinct, effectively converting them from courageous sorcerers into savage, warmongering barbarians. Their physical forms became more ethereal and ghostly, taking a similar image to the disembodied soul of the hero. So, when the time came for Link to face the calamity depicted on the tapestry, his courage was greatly diminished by the Zonai sorcerers, to the point where the Triforce vanished from his hand, making him no longer worthy to wield the sword of evil's bane. Therefore, Link removed himself from his physical form and used the last of his soul's will, the last of his courage, and combined it with the spirit of the Master Sword, Fi, in order to seal Ganon and his corruptive power beneath the ground. Link used his own soul, and the soul of the sword that seals the darkness, to forcefully keep Ganon's spirit from removing itself from its vessel. But how does courage alone seal Ganon? Is it not the Master Sword, the weapon that seals the darkness, that is required to defeat Ganon entirely? But what provides the blade its power? Naturally, it is courage. As the hero Shade once claimed, a sword wields no strength unless the hand that holds it has courage. This is why Link is unable to wield the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild. A large portion of his eternal soul is trapped beneath the earth, as well as the spirit of the blade itself, and the rest disproportionately scattered amongst the cursed Zonai. The current weakened Link can only wield the Master Sword when he has enough energy. In other words, the sword has no power of its own, so it must rely on the energy of the wielder. The only reason Link was able to pull the sword from its resting place was thanks only to the wise Sheikah monks. These monks, aware of the sins of the Zonai, preserved themselves within their shrines, awaiting the hero's return, so that they may offer the last of their soul's will, their courage, in the form of spirit orbs, which are described as symbols of courage. Link conquers trials provided by the monks, who then deem him worthy of their spirits. By the end of Breath of the Wild, Link has received some of the courage he has lost from the Zonai 10,000 years ago, thanks to the Sheikah's spirit orbs subsidizing or replacing his lost energy. However, in order to defeat Ganon in the sequel, he must regain the remnants of the original hero that now rest underground, and throughout the main quest, he will be tasked with defeating ancient Zonai warriors in order to claim their souls and regain the courage necessary to power the Master Sword back to its full potential. So the soul of the hero, a primal entity created by the goddess of courage to free and encourage souls, embedding all living things with a will to live, now dedicates that same energy to torment and enslave a single corrupted soul. Ganon's soul. His spirit orb, just like the Sheikah monks, is forced by the hero's soul to remain in its rotting vessel. a soul forced to remain in life and thus remain in suffering. With the use of Zelda's wisdom, channeled through Sheikah technology, and using the soul of the Master Sword Fi, channeled through the disembodied soul of the hero, the people of Hyrule, by manipulating the powers of the Triforce, have managed to seal Calamity Ganon on their own. But now, after 10,000 years, Ganon's anguish, hate, and malice, as well as the seals containing it, have reached their collective boiling point. Will Link be able to regain the courage of his ancient soul, or will its now corrupted life force used to seal malice tempt him as it tempted the once honorable, courageous Zonai tribe? If he succeeds, he will have redeemed the soul of the hero, and with it, end the eternal cycle known as the Legend of Zelda.